Hello, my beautiful and valuable friends, and welcome to this channel. I'm Tetivik, and today we're going to discuss an interesting subject about how to deal with toxic and very difficult people. You see, part of our lives are other people, and some of them are strangers to us, some of them we work or study together, some of them become very dear to us, and some of them are our friends or relatives or family members. And you see, because we have such a huge spectrum of people that we are dealing with on a daily basis, we need to also comprehend that not every person we will face in our life is going to be nice to us, is going to be positive, optimistic, and loving. And that is normal. You will say, of course, it's so much nicer if we have only good people. And I agree, that will be lovely, because I like to give a good energy. I like to give love. I like to give gratitude. I like to help people. But not everybody thinks like me, or not everybody thinks like you. And we need to accept that fact. The most difficult part, I think, in dealing with difficult or toxic people is when we do not want to accept that these people exist. We want to do anything that is in our power to stop them doing like that, or stop harming us, or stop hurting others. But we need to just accept. You see, acceptance in any spiritual practice, with addiction, or in difficult situation, acceptance helps us to cool down. Acceptance helps us to lighten up. Acceptance helps us to be free and carry on. And that's why, above all, I want you to learn to accept these people. It doesn't mean that you're accepting their behavior or you are allowing them to carry on doing that to you, but you accept that they exist and you allow them to be. You leave them there and you go on your own pathway. So in this video, I will discuss 3 different very practical steps how you can deal with toxic or difficult people. And this is related to people that you might know a little bit, because you see, the thing is, I believe that if you have a stranger, complete stranger, in a person or online, bugging you, making you struggle, showing hatred towards yourself, I don't think you need to react, to be very fair. Because why do you need to deal with that? You don't, because it's a complete stranger. I always say, it's very difficult when it is happening to you, and it's very difficult in that moment to be, positive and smiling and say, oh yes, I remember, I don't need to deal with it. But I will tell you that if you can remind yourself, if it's a stranger, complete stranger in the street, or at the shop, or at the cinema you are in, or it's online or in a social media, that you need to remember, I don't need to deal with it. Some battles are not supposed to be won, some battles are you're not even supposed to go into. So learn to realize that if it's a stranger, doesn't matter in person or online, I'm not dealing with it. It's number 1 for yourself. Number 2, if you do need to deal with it, if it's a family member or a friend or somebody you love, or maybe a co-worker, then there are some tactics. Above all, you need to understand that it is you who decides. You are on that pedestal. You are the one who has this ultimate control to deal with this situation from your own side. But in the same time, you need to realize there is another person involved, and there is certain things you can do. But if the person is not resonating with you, if nothing changes, then it is very simple action to leave. So let's dive in. This is going to be very interesting. If you feel that in your life you are getting toxic and negative and very pessimistic and difficult people all the time, and the circle never ends for years, then I will say to you, if you want to access that full training with me, contact me below and we can schedule one-to-one sessions. Because sometimes there is something that we are doing to attract these people. Always think about it. What is that I am doing to attract these toxic people? What is that my body is projecting? What is that I'm saying that I'm attracting these people? Or maybe I think that I don't deserve somebody good. Maybe I think I have to struggle like this. Sometimes it's just a coded belief that we don't deserve love, we don't deserve appreciation, and that's why we are, very, very likely to attract these people who are not giving us love because we think we don't deserve. So really think about it. If you are always attracting negative situations, toxic people around you, then maybe there is lack of self-love. Really work on that. So let's go and see now these 3 practical steps. They are connected with a specific images that will help you to understand it quicker and much easier. First step, we will talk about the freezing reaction. It's a superhero that comes to help you and freezes this situation. When we discuss more, you will understand why these associations are created. Second is calm reaction. This is a teacher who comes and teaches the lessons and then leaves. And the third is a spiritual reaction. This is an angel that creates the atmosphere that this doesn't happen anymore. These are very interesting, like maybe personas involved. So number 1 is the superhero, is a freezing reaction. Number 2 is a teacher, is a very calm, unsettled reaction. There is no aggression. And number 3 is a spiritual reaction provided by the angel or a priest, as you wish, as is easier for you. So let's discuss each of them specifically. You can sometimes use all of them when you are dealing with the toxic people, if you have to deal with them. My advice always is to not deal with these people, because you will never change their unhappiness, you will never change their hatred. Better to not deal. But if you have to, if there's somebody that you love and you really want to give a chance, then these will be the steps. The number 1 is, if you're dealing with a toxic person, it's a difficult person to deal with. It's a person who is unhappy with his own life, her own life, and that's why they project on you. You need to memorize that a happy person cannot be toxic. Those 2 things cannot go together, It's like smiling and being upset. You can't really smile and be upset. Even if you're upset and you smile, the feeling of you being upset just disappears. That's why when you are feeling down, they say that it's better to take the mirror and just smile at yourself, and you really feel that the mood is actually improving. The very important psychological teaching is sharing the fact that we are not capable to have 2 different emotions in the same time. That's why for you it is important to understand that with a toxic person, you cannot have a happy person in the same time. When a person is toxic and unhappy, the person that is toxic towards you cannot be lovely and happy. It is impossible. They can have only 1 emotion at the time. So let's dive in. Number 1 is the freezing reaction that you can give to the toxic person. It's the superhero, imagine, appears. Imagine as you wish. If you're a woman, you can imagine a Superman. If you're a man, you can imagine a Superwoman, Wonder Woman, whatever is good for you. Or you can imagine yourself being a, Captain America. Whatever superhero is closer to your heart. So imagine that superhero comes into this situation with a toxic person and freezes the toxic person. So there's an ice that is freezing the situation, this person, immediately. You need to visualize this as much as you can. When this superhero is coming and freezing, it means everything is frozen. And that also affects you. Your thoughts about this person gets frozen. You cannot think about it anymore. You don't analyze. Sometimes when we have a difficult conversation with a toxic person, then we have inner dialogue over and over again in ourselves, torturing ourselves. How was I supposed to react? Maybe I was supposed to say something different. Maybe if I choose a different words would be better. And we torture ourselves in this inner dialogue. So remember, this hero comes and he freezes everything. Your thoughts, your emotions, your hatred, your obsession, your aggression, everything gets frozen. And also, toxic persons' energy gets frozen. This is the most important. The superhero comes to freeze this energy, and you accept that, okay, I don't accept this. This is done. This is frozen. I'm now neutral. I'm not participating. There is no action from me asked. There is no reaction that I will give. I'm not encouraging you this. I'm not entertaining this. It's frozen. And sometimes the best way is even to say, not even reply, just walk away. This is frozen situation. Try to use it as much as you can until that becomes normal for you. So this freezing reaction is freezing both the toxic person's energy, because how does that happen? You say, I'm not getting it. I'm not taking it. I'm not accepting this. No. So that is frozen. And also you freeze, you allow the superhero to freeze your thoughts, your inner dialogue, your aggression towards this person. And you say, I'm not going to think about this anymore. I'm going to think about this nicer person, or this nice event that is coming, or I have a photo shoot, or I have a theater that I'm going to. Right away, you freeze the negative energy immediately. The second one is very practical steps. This is a teacher, is a calm reaction you will give. This is a bit different from the first, because if in the first position you don't even entertain this, when a child is becoming aggressive and hitting his legs and going on the floor in a shop, have you noticed what some intelligent parents do? They are not even paying attention. And when a kid sees that nobody is taking the attention, he stops. Of course, this child behavior is not that toxic as toxic people can do, but this is just an example that sometimes when you don't entertain something, it has no power. The same is with toxic people. If you don't entertain, if you don't give the reaction, they have no power. Now imagine that you do need to react, you do need to say something. Then imagine now superhero is resting a little bit and the teacher comes along. Teacher is a calm person who knows that he or she is looking at the facts, and the teacher can do different things. First of all, teacher can be answering the toxic person's behavior with no aggression. There is no attitude reply like, oh, it's not like that. There is no attitude. It's very calm. That's why it's called calm reaction. It's the teacher's calm reaction. This is one-liner. So the best way how to communicate with toxic people is to be very short. Don't go into the explanations, showing the pictures, asking somebody to come be a witness. They love that because you are feeding their energy. They are happy that they got your attention to struggle in the struggle with them. They are so unhappy that you are now taking their unhappiness and making them happy. So don't do that, becoming unhappy with them. You can make them happy, but you will make yourself miserable. So don't do that. So the teacher is somebody who says like a one-liner, but not like, oh, I think you must be very unhappy person. Not like that, but saying, I wonder why some people act like you do. You must have some very big unhappiness in your life. I wish I could help you. And really sincere, really genuine, in like a one sentence. And they're like, what? No, I'm trying to attack you. And you're like, I feel so sorry for you that you need to be in this kind of mood. They're like, again, what? No, they cannot understand why you're giving one line and you're not feeding their ego. You're not feeding this negative emotion. So be very careful. Second way you can do is just a joke. Is again one line. Smiling, laughing, and joking kills everything. Immediately kills the negative energy. Imagine somebody comes to you and say, oh, I hate you. You look so terrible. Like you're such a bad person. You will think, why on earth would somebody say something like that to you? But what you can say, you can realize that first of all, it's just a sound, it's just the words, and this doesn't matter anything because you know your worth, you know who you are, and you know what is your value. So when they say, oh, you're terrible and don't do this and don't touch this and I hate when you do that, you just be like, ah, that is so funny. Like, you are so funny. Like, you make me laugh, Okay, well, have a good day. I need to go now. That is it. Imagine that reaction. They're like, I completely don't understand. I was there being a vampire trying to suck their blood and they're just smiling at me. Smile or one-liner joke is amazing. Sometimes you can compliment them, say, you seem to be such a nice lady. I can't believe you will react like this, or you will be saying such a, bad things. Oh, you know, very calm. You see, you're not crying, your hair is not flying, you know, the items are not flying in the room. You're calm. You are not trying to prove anything, because you know this is a negative reaction. This is a energy coming to you, and you are not accepting this. Another way is also being delayed. Understand that any toxic person is trying to get your attention, manipulating you into the hatred. It's a pure manipulation. Anything that comes from the toxic person is a manipulation. You need to understand, in life, people can give either love or hatred. In this case, it's a hatred, so you're not accepting it. And this is a delayed reaction. When they say something, you're like, can you repeat? Oh yes, this is, you're doing your work terribly. Everybody's complaining. Sorry, what do you mean? Could you explain? Yes, everybody's unhappy by your service. We don't want you to work with us, and this is this, and you're always late, and this. Oh, I understand. Let's maybe discuss this, you know, after an hour. And they're like, why are you talking slowly? Why are you delaying? Delayed answer makes them be nervous, and they have nothing else to say, that they need to calm down. Because when you are calm and your answers are delayed, they also calm themselves down. And you need to understand that anybody who is toxic is trying to get you out from your emotional stability. You know, when you're in a good mood, you have emotional stability. And when they are irritating you, you come out of your emotional stability. For the human being, it is needed 40 minutes, 40 minutes to go back to the initial stable, balanced emotional state. That's why when the aggression comes towards you, delay the answer. If it's an email, don't reply at least 40 minutes until you get back to your state. If it's a conversation, say, could we speak in an hour? That will cover the 40 minutes you need to relax. Sometimes delayed answer, delayed reaction is the best, because you can think about it, and sometimes you will realize, I'm not even going to reply, I'm not going to even answer with the email, I'm not going to even say anything. So these tactics, you know, the smile, delayed reaction, no attitude reply, you know, these compliments, is very, very helpful, because you can use them differently in different situations, but sometimes you can also just say, don't speak with me like that, it's unacceptable, and leave. That's a very good one-liner too. So these are all the teacher tactics. And the last one, the easiest one and the shortest one, is an angel. It's a spiritual answer. The only thing it's requested from you in here is to not judge these people, to not fight with these people, to not go into the war with them, but let it go. The best way, when the angel comes, this is the last tactic, he just prays for them, forgives them, let them go, and do not even engage. So let's summarize one more time. You have 3 different tactics to deal with the toxic people. Number 1, you ask the superhero to come to freeze. He freezes the situation, he freezes negative energy, and he freezes your own torture, inner dialogues, and how to reply, what to do. He freezes everything. You take off that reaction from your mind. That is frozen, and you do not reply, you don't come back to that. Second is a teacher. Sometimes teacher will laugh, sometimes teacher will joke, sometimes teacher will compliment, sometimes teacher will be strict and say, you cannot talk with me like that, and that's it. You leave after that. Sometimes teacher will be delaying the reply so you can gather yourself and go back to your emotional state. And sometimes teacher will just be, you know, saying something nice to calm that person down. And the last is an angel. Angel is not doing anything. Angel is just praying for these unhappy people, for these mentally sick people, for these crazy people, for this toxicity that they have. Angel is forgiving, letting go, and not fighting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it is easier on your heart how to deal with toxic people, because now you learn that it is your responsibility, and you have all these superheroes, the teachers and angels, protecting you and helping you out whenever you need. If you need one-to-one consultation with me, contact me below and we can schedule that too. And for now, the only thing that I need to remind you about, that don't forget to smile today and enjoy life.